Greetings and welcome to the Gadget 360 show, but I should be calling this show today the Gadget 2 show. Do you know why? Because everything we have is in pairs. Well, almost. At least our first three top stories are all twins. First, we'll go with OnePlus TVs. They've lived up to their promise that they're going to get into segments that are not necessarily the absolute premium in each category. They will play in different price points and different differentials in terms of the category that they come in. The Y series and the U series from OnePlus TVs, and we'll actually review one of them here today. They've just been announced. We already have them. Then we'll move on to these two twins. True wireless buds from Sony. Now, Sony, when they get into something, especially when it's audio, you've got to know they're going to do a great job with it. Of course, their names, as always, are very convoluted, very long. You'll never remember them. So even I'll have to look at the packaging to tell you about them. But these are at interesting price points, around 18,000, around 10,000, or even lower. Then we'll move on to the twins from Microsoft, the Microsoft Surface. The two things that we haven't done from them, we've already done the Pro X, but we haven't done these two, the 7 and the 3. One of them still a detachable, the other, of course, a true laptop in every single way. So interesting stuff out there. And then we'll move on to what this entire lockdown world has taught us. The fact that we don't have to go to work, that we don't have to go and meet and take meetings with people every single day. We can do it all virtually. Floor is a virtual event platform with a big difference. So let's get started with the Gadget 360 show. Like I said right at the beginning, I have to call this the Gadget Twin Show.
On the show this week, we take a detailed look at OnePlus's latest TVs that shed off a lot on their price tag. Sony comes in with its new TWS earphones, and there are not one but two earphones in their kitty. Find out if Sony beats competition with these. We're all about tools this week, and there is Microsoft's Surface lineup. This time we review the Surface Pro 7 and the Laptop 3. All happening on the show today.
We'll start off, of course, with news coming in from the world of gadgets and gizmos, and I think the most important one that all of you know is the banning of the apps that actually happened. All Chinese, all happened simultaneously. Supposedly the security of the country at stake and a whole lot more. Let's start with that, but of course we've got a lot more.
The big tech news this week was that TikTok and 58 other Chinese apps got banned in India on the grounds of protecting the safety and sovereignty of the country. TikTok had more than 119 million active users in India out of the 800 million users worldwide, and the app is no longer working on mobile phones and is not available to download either. Just a few days before the ban, TikTok was found to be snooping in on people's phones and specifically on all the text being typed out. This came to light through iOS 14's beta version. Other banned Chinese apps include Shein, UC Browser, Me Community, WeChat, Beauty Plus, Cam Scanner, and many others. The ban has left TikTok influencers out of work and could cause ByteDance a loss of $6 billion. Chingari, a homegrown app that is similar to TikTok, became an overnight success with more than 1 crore downloads in total. The app is available for Android users as of now. If you own an Android phone and are updated to the latest OS, you might see COVID-19 exposure notifications in the settings of your phone. But it may not be of much use to you. This is Google and Apple's joint contact tracing tool that was announced by the tech giants in April. It has been rolled out to phones in India and will be compatible with government-approved contact tracing apps. But India's Arogya Setu app is not compatible with it and doesn't need this API. Arogya Setu uses the location of users for contact tracing, while the Google Apple API is against collecting GPS information. It uses Bluetooth anonymous data and creates random IDs, which is then shared with other handsets. Random IDs for each user is changed every 10 to 20 minutes. But in short, this means that in India, users will have to rely on Arogya Setu for now. Facebook has launched its avatar feature on its mobile app. The feature will let users create animated versions of themselves and can be used on Messenger, profile pictures, comments, and even on WhatsApp. There are Indian customizations as well, like the addition of a bindi, kurta, turban, and even a sari option. The feature has been rolled out to all Facebook apps on iOS and Android.
And we'll start off with our top story. This is OnePlus. At one time, and this is something where I even had a conversation with the people at OnePlus, where they spoke about a global announcement they made that they're going to get into a segment that is not necessarily the most premium. They said we'll carry on with premium in terms of features, in terms of looks, in terms of what the product actually stands for. But the pricing is something we'll play in different categories, and they've done it already with their TVs.
OnePlus seems to be stepping down the price ladder when it comes to their phones and now with their TV lineup as well. OnePlus launched the Y series and the slightly more premium 4K UHD U series. The Y series starts at 12,999 rupees and the OnePlus TV U series has a single 55-inch model which is priced at 49,999 rupees. The OnePlus TV brings a modern and no-fuss design to their lineup. It is so sleek, it stuns with its design, especially on a tabletop. The logo on the bottom chin is inconspicuous and all the attention remains on the large screen. The tabletop stand has a nice metal finish. The back of the TV has a hidden port design. A small panel comes off and the ports are well concealed there. The back has an interesting carbon fiber pattern which we liked. This is nearly a bezel-less TV with a 95% screen to body ratio. There's so much screen real estate, especially with bigger sizes like this 55-inch one. Overall, the design is stunning and it looks like a very premium TV. Once switched on, the Android 9 interface will greet you. It is quick and works like it does on any Android TV. OnePlus has tried to ensure it leaves no stone unturned when it comes to picture quality. The U in this series might as well stand for UHD, as that is the resolution it brings. It has 4K support as well and the picture quality was very good. The colors are sharp and there are no stutters or motion blurs. This is probably because of the Gamma engine this TV runs on. It makes for a smooth viewing experience and there's a noise reduction feature as well. The edges of the TV are smooth as well and there's Dolby Vision and AI picture quality. In terms of color, there's dynamic contrast which brings a very balanced color and not overly saturated tones. We played around with the picture modes as well and found one that goes slightly easy on the eyes. It adds a little more yellow tone and reduces the overall brightness. There are some additional features that OnePlus has brought to the U series. This includes a kids mode with controlled hours for children to be watching TV. There is a Data Saver Plus feature which can track the data usage on the TV. There's also a game mode which we might see in later updates. This lowers the latency of the screen. Currently this is a 60Hz screen and it is blazing fast. Scrolling, clicking, we had no lags at all. The TV runs on a 3GB RAM and has 16GB of storage. This is more than adequate for a 4K UHD TV and OnePlus has done well here. Like most Android TVs, OnePlus brings a built-in Chromecast support and voice search on the remote. The remote is sleek and minimal. OnePlus reminds us of one of their first TVs with this remote. Along with Netflix, Amazon Prime, there's also OnePlus's own Oxygen Play app on the TV. And for users who own a OnePlus phone, it can turn into a remote as well with the OnePlus Connect app. There's Wi-Fi sharing and trackpad control with this. We tried this with the OnePlus 8 Pro and found it was pretty snappy. There's a 30 watts 4-unit speaker system at the back. The audio from the TV is good and it also supports Dolby Atmos. Stacking this up against competition, OnePlus does well with its sleek design and picture quality. The TV did heat up after we used it for more than 2 hours, which could be seen as the only drawback of having such a slim TV. But if it's looks that you're after, OnePlus's U series will definitely fit your bill. The sound could have been slightly better, but the picture quality is good for a 4K Ultra HD TV, and the Gamma engine in this seems to keep things in check as well. In terms of price, OnePlus has knocked it out of the park. For 50,000 rupees, the U series is a great deal for a 4K UHD 55-inch TV.
And now let's move on to Sony. Like I said, I've got the twins out here, and like I said, the names are as convoluted, as confusing as possible. I don't know why Sony doesn't come up with more interesting names for their products. The first one is called the WF-SP800N, a set of true wireless buds, of course. These have noise cancellation built in, price point around 18,000 rupees. The second set is called the WF-XB700, and this is around the 10,000 variety. Once again, the really cool part is that battery life is fantastic. They call it 9 hours plus 9 hours in terms of what it will actually last out. Let's take a look at the rest of the features.
TWS earphones are flooding the market. From AirPods Pro to Sennheiser and even Xiaomi, there seems to be one for all at different ranges of the price spectrum. The latest entry into the space is by Sony. Sony has brought two TWS earphones, the WF-XP700, which is currently priced at 9,990 rupees, and the WF-SP800N, which is priced at 18,990 rupees. Priced very aggressively, both variants offer promising features, so we decided to try them out, belt out some tunes and see how they do. Sony is known for their extra bass-like sound, and that is what both these wireless earphones bring. The XP700 is small in size, pretty comfortable to wear and is splash-proof. They do pop out a little bit, so one has to make sure it is fit in just right for the sound to be good. It comes out in a petite case and is extremely portable. It connects fast to the phone and it is Bluetooth 5.0 compatible. We played many different kinds of songs through the XP700. It has a 12mm drive unit and it did well with Sony's extra bass feature. The earphones themselves are adequately loud. There's a lot of detail in the notes too, and we overall enjoyed the sound output from these. The XP700 doesn't come with active noise cancellation. Battery is another area where the earphones did well. Sony claims 18 hours in total with the case, and we got around 10 hours with just the earphones. There is a built-in mic and the call quality was very clear. There are no touch gestures on these, but there is a tiny physical button to touch the volume or play pause a track. It is not very easy to use. Sony brings out its big guns with the SP800N. They are IP55 water and dust resistant, which is a big plus for wireless earphones. The SP800N have a very sporty look to them. They look straight out of the matrix with a little part that comes just outside the ear. They fit well in the ear and there's no chance of them falling off. They are ideal for workout wear and the silicone arc fits in well in the ear. These are the wireless earphones on which Sony brings active noise cancellation. The audio is really good, especially with the ANC feature on. We couldn't hear any ambient sound when this was switched on. This feature comes very close to Apple's AirPods Pro. In fact, the Sony SP800 are louder than the AirPods Pro as well. The extra bass feature on this lends the sound very good lows. Finer details were again very impressive, and these are one of the best earphones in terms of sound in the form factor. Using SP800 is a breeze too. The touch controls there on the panel on top. You can long hold to briefly pause a track or simply take off one earphone. Tap once to play pause music and on the ear tap once again to activate ANC. This can also be done through Sony's Headphone Connect app. Even ambient sound control can be adjusted from there. Sony claims these can go on and on for the whopping 26 hours without noise cancellation activated. It did really well and we got an easy 10 hour from just the earphones with noise cancellation. The call quality was better from its cheaper sibling, the XP700, but overall if you're looking at good audio around 10,000 rupees, then the XP700 will make for a good choice. It does miss out on touch controls and ANC, but it will perform well otherwise. The SP800N are priced competitively for the wireless earphones with active noise cancellation. If you don't mind all that bass, then you will love the SP800N.
We'll take a quick break right now. On the Gadget 360 show, I've got more twins for you, so don't go anywhere. And now the last set of twins on our show today, and that is from Microsoft, their Surface series. We've got the Microsoft Surface 7 and the Microsoft Surface 3. The 3 is a pure laptop. You can't detach it, you can't take it off. It doesn't even open up to a 360 degree. So it is in the Surface series, very thin, very light, beautiful in terms of the overall metallic finish. Everything is very, very top of the line in terms of specs and everything else. Great keyboard, very, very good touch controls that you can actually get on a Surface product like this. And the other one, of course, is the Microsoft Surface 7. That's the more conventional, or can I say the more tablet form factor that becomes a laptop. Let's take a look at both of them together.
Microsoft's Surface family has really expanded since it first started. This time they launched 3 variants in India. The Surface Pro X that we have shown you on the show before, the Surface Pro 7 that's considered to be the more affordable 2-in-1, and the Surface Laptop 3. Today we have the Surface Power Machines to test to the max and see just how they fare as computing devices. Let's start with the Surface Pro 7. This is a convertible that starts at 72,999 rupees, but that is for the Intel i3 processor. The i7 variant is priced at a hefty 1,41,999 rupees. We got the i5 variant that starts at 88,999 rupees. The signature type cover is not included in this price. The Surface Pro 7 is very similar in design to the Pro X. The detachable signature keyboard can be added to it and it can switch to a tablet with ease. There's a built-in kickstand on the back that takes some effort to take out, but it lends a good amount of sturdiness. The drawback with the Surface Pro 7 design is the chunky bezels that are visible around the screen. This is unlike a tablet or a laptop in 2020 and it stands out, giving us less screen real estate. This is a 12.3-inch Pixel Sense display. The display itself is pretty good with a very high resolution and the colors were punchy. The Instant On button on the side of the convertible is very useful in bringing the Surface Pro 7 to life. Watching content on this is really nice because of the display but also because of the sound. The Surface Pro 7 does well with its speakers. There is fast charging that comes on this convertible, but somehow the battery life is not very impressive. It ran a little more than 8 hours with heavy use. Its predecessor, the Surface Pro 6, had slightly better battery than this. But the same can't be said about its power. It comes with Intel's new 10nm processors and comes in various configurations. Our i5 variant chews through all tasks thrown at it, including heavy gaming. In terms of connectivity, Microsoft has finally given us a USB-C, but it is the USB 3.1 standard and not Thunderbolt 3. There's also a USB-A port. The Pro 7 runs on Windows 10 and tablet mode on this was snappy as well. The signature type cover is nice to snap on and use, the key travel is good. But the entire unit does feel a bit wobbly, probably because of the weight of the Surface Pro 7. The front camera is ideal for calls and the back camera does an average job at clicking pictures. Let's take a look at the Surface Laptop 3 and we will reserve our verdict on both for the end. The Microsoft Surface Laptop 3 is a power beast. It's no wonder that it starts at 98,999 rupees. But does it manage to justify this price tag? Let's see. The Surface Laptop 3 is not a convertible. It has a 13.5-inch screen like this one we got or a 15-inch one. It has an all-metal design and it's a really good-looking laptop. It is slightly heavy to hold but it's extremely sturdy. It does have some bezels as well, but the display is razor sharp and draws all the attention. The mics on this are really powerful and the 720p front camera makes it good for video calls. The keyboard is one of the highlights of the Laptop 3. There's a 20% larger trackpad that is nice to use with Windows and the keys have a satisfying thud to them. Microsoft has retained the Surface Laptop 3 to be touch-friendly, but we found less use for this. There's a Type-C port on the body along with a USB Type-A port, a headphone jack and a Surface Connect port. The base model comes with Intel's 10th Gen Core i5 processor, 8GB of RAM and 256GB of SSD storage. It is a workhorse that was blazing fast with tasks, multitasking and with games. It has the well-rounded Windows 10 Home running on this. It ran for a little more than 8 hours on heavy use for us. All in all, the Surface Laptop 3 is one of the best Surface devices. It ticks all the check boxes to be the perfect laptop. It retains the adjustable essence of the Surface lineup while being really powerful. You can consider this if you want a premium laptop that will serve you well. The Surface Pro 7 is Microsoft's affordable convertible. It is adaptable and it's great for watching content and working on it. But it does falter a bit on its battery and we wish there were thin bezels around the screen. But that said, it makes for a sweet deal when compared to the pricier Pro X model.
That then is the Gadget 360 show for this week, where we did multiple twins from TVs to wireless earbuds to Microsoft Surface products and this virtual product. But we've got a great amount of stuff happening next week. I'll see you on that show.